Hello and welcome in. My name is Yesenia from Novels and Nectar, and today we're going to be going through how I do my book blog posts. So for anyone who follows me on Instagram, or if you like my blog, I'm going to be showing you top to bottom how I go ahead and have my rhythm and my system to post a book. And so right now, where we are is my daily desk. So this is a system that I have built and that I'm kind of still refining that pretty much houses the entirety of my life when it comes to remembering anything, habits, content, etc. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the studio, which is where I have all of my creator stuff. We're going to go into content, and we're going to select the book that I'm going to be posting today. So today we're going to be doing Bloodthirsty Beloved by Ella Fields. This is a standalone that I am currently reviewing. And right here, we're going to go back into the back end of WordPress. So I've already started this. I do have drafts, kind of like a template that I duplicate for each book. And so I've already duplicated it. I've changed the title of the book and the introduction. Everything else pretty much flows seamlessly between the content in my Notion and the template. And so we're going to go ahead and start from top to bottom. Here, I'm going to start by uploading an image. So I usually take the cover image of a picture in Amazon, and then I end up giving this. So we're going to go ahead and select it. We want this to be featured as the main image. We'll go ahead and set that as featured image. And we're going to go ahead and add a link to that. So I'm going to go ahead and come back down into my Notion, pull the Amazon link, copy that in, and bring that over. And then one thing to remember is to always open that in a new tab so that the reader doesn't get moved from the blog now into Amazon. If they want to buy this book, they can still kind of go through and review your book. So first thing there, once again, like I said, I have pretty much everything like refined that I post through from top to bottom based off of my blog. So here I have spicy chapters, dedication, song pairing. Same thing here. We're going to come down, book rating, spicy chapters, dedication, and then we move along, song pairing, etc. So pretty much in my Notion, everything that I have in the yellow, I have compiled previous to going into my blog and starting that post. So all of the information that I have at this point here, I have collected, right? And then when it comes time to post, that is now in all of the pink callouts, and that pretty much is my to-dos. At this point, the first thing that I do is post on Instagram, which I have done. I do have a Instagram Canva template for my quotes, and then for my background creation, I've already done that. So once we're done with that, we're going to move on to the publish the blog post. So at this point, I've added my hero image, and I did add it with a link. We're going to go ahead and move down. So like I said, all of the information that I'm going to need for my blog is going to be in this yellow section. So first things first, I need to change the title of anything that says blank to the name of the book. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the name of the book, and we're going to change all of that where it says blank. And this is mainly because of SEO, so search engine optimization, which pretty much helps readers be able to go to Google and find whatever it is that they're looking for. So this is a standalone, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this series reading order because we don't need a series reading order. Then once again, we're going to go ahead and change that. And then fast facts I do have, so anything that says book, I'm going to go ahead and change that to the book title. Once again, this is all so that when Google reads my page, we're able to send the correct people to find whatever it is that they're looking for. And then I do go ahead and put that as the focus key phrase. And I'm going to go ahead and put here, Bloodthirsty Beloved by Ella Fields. Oops. And then here, we change blank, blood, thirsty, if I can spell right, beloved. And so at this point, I have pretty much changed the title everywhere except here. I'm going to say Bloodthirsty Beloved by Ella Fields. Okay. And then sometimes I do podcasts, kind of just going over all of this information. If it's a standalone, I don't tend to do that, more so for series. And so we're going to go ahead and come through. So we're going to start with star rating. We'll come back here. I gave this a 3.5. So we'll just fill that in, 3.5. Chili rating, I gave this a 4. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate that into 4. I do like to put the information for why I'm giving it the 4 stars. So I do have a rating guide that I made for myself. So I just go ahead and copy whatever is relevant. And we're going to go ahead and bring that over into the spice score. So if anybody lands on the page, they understand kind of what we're going to be looking at. We're going to move down to the spicy chapters. So as you can see, this becomes pretty seamless in terms of kind of moving information, because at this point I've pretty much gathered most of the information that I needed for this book prior to starting this post. And so we're going to go ahead and bring in the link. I always do open new tab, and it is a sponsored link. So we're going to go ahead and come through to add it. I have it in 3 places. So we'll go ahead and do that quickly. This isn't going to be in a new tab, and it is a sponsored link. And once again, this is mainly so that if anybody is on your blog, we are not pushing them away from your information and losing any readers that maybe might not want to lose the page. So we're going to go ahead and add this last one to these 3 spots. And you can pretty much put, links wherever you feel is necessary. I kind of just put them here because I feel like these are natural places where they might, be convenient. But you can do more or less. I have done less. And so at this point, I'm done with this first block. We're going to go ahead and move down to the review. So we'll come down to the review. I've already written the review, so I'm just going to copy that over. And then I do like to have people, if they want to follow along, they can sign up for my newsletter. So I just have that as an opt-in. Give it a little space. We're going to do the song pairing. And so I do like to take the time to go through and find songs that I feel kind of are relevant to each of the books that I post. So this is the song that I selected here. And then I pretty much just go to YouTube and just get the URL, and I bring that back in, and I add the lyrics video so that if anybody wants to kind of, have this going or kind of read the lyrics so that you kind of see why this is something that was picked, that is easily available there. And then we're going to go to similar reads now. So we'll come down to similar reads. Like I said, this is all stuff that I've pretty much already compiled together. And then it did add links here. So anybody who clicks on these quickly can go through and be directed to that book. But once again, because these are Amazon links, they are sponsored links. And so we have to tell Google and WordPress that they are. So I go ahead and apply that. Just kind of moving along. So at this point, I've added the similar reads. I'm going to now add Instagram quotes. So I would just go to my Instagram template, which I would have easily just grabbed here. So I have this Canva template that I already had opened. And so it would bring me here, and then I just download this as a PNG. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that in. And once again, so now I want this to be, we're going to go ahead and center this, align to the center. And I do want to add the link to the Instagram post so that anybody who wants to just quickly read some of the favorite quotes attached to this book can easily do so. So we're on Instagram. We'll go ahead and copy the link and bring that over. And once again, let's go ahead and open that in a new tab. Okay, and let's go ahead and do alternate text. So bloodthirsty beloved. This is a tropes and quotes image. Did I spell that wrong? I sure did. Thirsty beloved. Okay, great. And now, so I've added the Instagram quotes. I do want, to note that you should always proofread everything, because sometimes I'll find that like when I'm typing, my words don't necessarily function with my brain. And sometimes things don't make sense, even though I think that they make sense. If I step away and I come back, I find that there are things that don't. Okay, so lastly, the summary there. And then I do come back through here. I'm going to say yes, and then I come back up here, and we are just going to copy. This is just if anybody doesn't want to go through reading the entirety of the post, we can go ahead and just have like a quick like search where they can kind of get all of the information at the bottom. So I won't go through all of that to save time, but that's pretty much what I do here. And then back to my blog. I don't know why I closed that. Let's say we've proofread the final version. I do add related tags for the posts at the bottom. So when you like whenever you scroll to the bottom of a post, you will find that there's usually like, oh, recommended posts at the bottom, this and this and that. So the way that you do that is, one, we're going to change the category. So this is not uncategorized. We're going to make this a romantasy because that's what this is. So if anybody wants to filter through just romantasy books, they can go ahead and do so there. And then we add tags. So I like to add tags based off of either series. So if there are certain series or certain authors, or if it's a standalone. So this is a standalone, so I'll go ahead and add the tag. So any other books that I have that have this tag will now populate at the bottom of this post. So, for example, let's say that that's it. We're done. We've added the related posts. I did optimize this for SEO, and that pretty much just is everything that I have down here. Everything is green. I have nice little happy face on my SEO, so that's good. And let's go ahead and post this. So I'm going to go ahead and select publish. Hit publish there. And so once this publishes, I do like to go back and check all of my links and make sure that everywhere that I have put a link will open to another tab and open to the correct tab. So let's go ahead and see the post. And like I said, so at this point, everything should filter nicely. And we're going to scroll all the way down. And so here we have related posts, like I said. And so both of these are also standalones, and that's because I tagged them as standalones. So one last thing that I like to do is I will sometimes forget this, which is why I have a checklist. I need to index this on Google. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy. So we'll go ahead and copy the URL, and I'm going to go to Google. And Google pretty much will run through and filter through your website, but sometimes it can take a little bit longer. And so I find that indexing it myself, make it kind of within 24 hours, like it'll be up online. So if somebody goes into Google and they are searching for my book, it will automatically go there. So for some reason right now, it's not loading. I'm not sure why. Oh, here we go. And I just go ahead and paste the URL, and I'm going to go ahead and try to index this. So I select enter. It is not indexed on Google because I've just posted this. So I'm going to request indexing. And so like I said, this takes about 24 hours. So hopefully by tomorrow when I come back, I'll have a beautiful green check mark that says that now it's been indexed. So if anybody were to put in anything that is relative to my post about Bloodthirsty Beloved, it would hopefully populate and people would be able to find this post. And so we'll just wait for that. It's submitting the request, and the indexing has been requested. And that's it. I've pretty much at this point posted everything that I needed for my blog. And I'm going to go ahead and archive this. And it's no longer a part of what's coming up next for my reviews. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for following along. See you next time. Bye.